The First Twilight. Hey. Welcome back.
I can't help myself, it's so good.
Oh man, we are having too much fun.
Music gets me every fucking time.
Everyone's dying and we're just jamming.
Yeah, 13 corpses and we're just having a great time. Yeah, we're in the game, my dude.
I wonder if this is going to do a flashback style story like 5 and 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I feel like it would make sense in the in the authorship theory that the two game masters for the final game is like something of a contest between Battler's new personality and Hachijo. I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a great question.
I don't know if I have any more to say. I just want to see some dead people.
Alright, well, let's get to this game, Bern's game. The tragedy of the First Twilight was discovered at 6 o'clock in the morning on the following day. Goda, who had woken up to get breakfast ready, went to check on the adult siblings who had remained in the dining hall since the previous night because of the family conference.
Tell us about when you discovered the crime.
There it is!
I'm not surprised in the slightest.
It's alright, we'll learn what it is in short order, of course. The Pebble Truth. The dining hall was locked up, of course. There was a lock on the doors of the dining hall, but they usually remain unlocked. I knocked, but there was no answer. Fitting that Goda, the greatest magician of them all, is the one to speak the Purple Truth first. That's when I arrived. I recommended that he try knocking the door just in case.
I feel like I'm going to need a list of these.
It's alright. Don't write everything down. Don't worry about it. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me.
I'm trusting you.
Trust me. Trust in the game master. You don't need to write this shit down. When I unlocked the door with a master key, a terrifying sight awaited me inside. Eva-sama, Hideyoshi-sama, Rudolph-sama, Kiri-sama, Rosa-sama, and Genji-san. 6 people in all were lying there covered in blood.
We're flashing back. A great tumult followed. Everyone gathered in the dining hall.
I don't want to remember it. The sight of all the sobbing children crouched over the corpses of their own parents.
There was a chance they might have been still alive. Everyone was shaking them desperately. There was no use. Each of the children confirmed the deaths of their own parents. Okay, I'm liking this. This is good.
Dr. Nanjo and I confirmed that Genji-sama was dead. Such a gruesome way to be killed. No one is going to mistakenly confirm a death, even those other than myself.
Okay, I'm enjoying myself. This is fun. I like this. I have the strangest feeling that I know what the rule is going to be.
We'll get to it.
I have the strangest feeling I know what it is. Let's go.
Yeah. It looks like all the victims died instantly.
After inspecting the interior of the dining hall, we determined that all of the doors and windows had been locked, making it a closed room. Because basically, what's going on here is either everyone in the First Twilight is actually dead, or one of the people still alive is the culprit. If the people who are still alive are the culprit, I don't have so much of a solid theory, but if one of the people in the First Twilight is a culprit, it means that one of the children has to be an accomplice.
Yes, sir.
Which means that people can lie with this truth, quite plainly. I'm excited.
I don't know, we'll find out what the rule is.
Nothing suspicious was found inside the dining hall.
Of course, there was no one hiding in the dining hall either.
Naturally, all of us are here right now. It's clear that no one is hiding. But if that's true, it doesn't make any sense. 6 people were killed in the dining hall as a closed room. How could someone have killed them and escaped?
I'd rather not think of it, but perhaps the servants with their master keys are the most suspicious.
They killed the 6, then left and locked the door with their master keys. This is a logical theory.
Eek! That's absurd! Since there was no chance of the culprit hiding inside the dining hall, it made sense to assume that the culprit locked the door after committing the murder and exiting the room. It was only natural that the servants with their master keys would fall under suspicion. And, sadly enough, none of the servants had an alibi.
Sadly.
Then again, it wasn't only the servants. Everyone else lacked an alibi as well.
Sadly.
This
isn't sad at all, this is brilliant. Is there any way to lock up from the outside without a master key?
No, there isn't. That's not enough. I'll say it with the red truth. All doors can only be locked or unlocked with a master key. Of course, it is possible to lock or unlock the doors from inside the room even without a master key.
There you have it.
Any other questions?
Shouldn't there be keys to each individual room in addition to the master keys? Normally those would exist. However, they make the game more complicated, so I've eliminated them. Red Truth will consider master keys to be the only keys that exist.
In other words, all of the locks that appear in this game can only be locked or unlocked by master keys.
It really is a fantasy.
Or from the inside.
That's what it means. It really is a simple game.
In that case, we should now check the number of master keys and who holds them. There are 5 master keys total. One is held by each of the 5 servants. The keys will be managed in a special way. The servants keep master keys on their person at all times, so it is impossible for them to be stolen, handed over, or used by any other human other than themselves.
That is great.
Other than themselves.
This is going to be so much fun.
It's gonna be a tight mystery, my dude.
What the heck? Now they're sounding less like keys and more like a fingerprinting system.
Pretty much. That's an interesting metaphor. In other words, in the world of this game, it isn't the master keys, but the 5 servants themselves that can lock or unlock doors.
Thank goodness they all tied the keys on a string to keep them from going off their
attached to
person.
them?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they sing a little song to make sure they get back in their pockets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We tried to retrieve Genji-san's master key, but had no luck.
To guard against trouble later on, we destroyed Genji's master key. We destroyed the key. What? They just destroyed the key, don't question it.
I'm just confused how they destroyed the key without retrieving it.
This is well, this is the thing. It's a fantasy, so it just makes sense.
Okay. This is the first one that I'm like,
I know, they destroyed it.
I mean, I'll trust it, but of course I think you can lie with this purple old thing here.
Yeah, maybe. This was the crime of the first Twilight. The scene was the locked closed room of the dining hall. None of the servants holding master keys have alibis. Then again, no one else has an alibi either.
I feel like...
The second Twilight.
Oh, okay, we're jumping.
Yeah, there is no story, it's just jump with Twilight to Twilight. Everyone returned to the parlor to discuss what should be done next. The phones were out, so they couldn't contact the police. Was the mysterious culprit hiding away somewhere, planning to attack their next victim at this very moment? Or was the culprit in here with them, mentally sticking out their tongue and tasting their next prey? None of them had alibis, and any one of them could have been a culprit. However, that tense feeling didn't last long. By midday, everyone got tired of arguing and they decided to take a break. And they went up to their room. I'm sure they were fine. Kraus and Natsui announced that they wanted to talk with each other alone, and went up to the second floor. That was the beginning, and after that, everyone went their separate ways now and then, such as to head to the bathroom or gaze at the endless rain. However, no matter how much time passed, Kraus and Natsui were the only ones who didn't return. Calls were sent to both Kraus and Natsui's rooms using the extension phone line, but there was no answer. Something might have happened.
Might.
Maybe. Sure, it's fine. Everyone headed to Kraus and Natsui's rooms together, and in Natsui's room they found Kraus and Natsui lying sprawled on the floor. Madam's room was locked!
Why does it go to first every time?
Because he's the best character. It's just like the dining hall!
I say as though we have a significant enough sample size to actually make that statement. After getting everyone's permission, I unlocked the door.
Kraus-sama and Natsui-sama, they sprawled on the floor inside the room.
Dr. Nanjo checked their pulse. Then he announced that the 2 of them had died instantly.
Correct! I confirm both of their deaths. There can be no doubt that they died instantly.
Why is correct not in purple? I searched all over the room looking for a clue. In the end, I found that the windows and doors had all been locked, making it a closed room.
Another closed room! We servants all have master keys, so won't be suspected again! Have no fear! After Madame began to suspect us, we started keeping an eye on each other.
All of our servants were together the whole time.
Ooh. All of our servants can provide an alibi for all the other servants. It's all or none.
And that's interesting. So you're saying that this closed room is even more complete?
In the case of the first closed room, no one had an alibi, so for this closed room, all of them have alibis. In this world, the servants themselves become living master keys. Since the servants have perfect alibis, it was impossible to lock Natsui's room. We decided to preserve the crime scene as it was. We put packing tape all over the outside of the doors and windows, sealing them. Nice trick. Where'd you learn it?
I know, right? I'm sure the culprit left some sort of clue in this room. We made sure that no one would be able to enter or leave until the police arrived. And we did the same with the dining hall. We also sealed the dining hall in the same way. But did they check in the dining hall before sealing it?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
We reached the conclusion that the entire mansion itself should be preserved. We also sealed the mansion itself, and all of us took refuge in the guest house. There you go.
Pretty standard fare.
Yeah.
They sealed the whole mansion, packing tape on all the windows. They even used a ladder for the windows on the 3rd floor.
The game would get complicated otherwise, so I've simplified it. All of the windows had sealed bars on them, so it's impossible to enter or leave by them.
It's a fucking armored mansion now.
It's so
this
great.
Is so great. It's the truest mystery we've had so far. Blatant fantasy. It's great. Oh,
I can't wait for the machine gun turret atop the guest house.
Yes.
The culprit is coming.
Get ready. Let's go. I'm so ready.
Therefore, we'll say that they can seal the whole mansion by sealing the 2 doors, the front one and the back one.
Got it? That makes it easy?
What do you think?
Actually, killing the 2 people in Anatsui's room would be easy. Someone just had to knock and get them to open the door. However, they couldn't lock it afterwards.
Only the servants can lock doors, but all the servants have alibis.
Unless the servants are all in it together. More importantly, the first Twilight has me suspicious.
You think that one of the 6 who died in the dining hall was actually alive and committed the crime?
It's all because of Erica. I can't help but be suspicious when people are all examining corpses.
So, you think that one of the first 6 victims was alive?
Yeah. And afterwards, they killed Kraus and Natsui. And they locked the door from the inside, hid inside the room, and found a good chance to escape.
In theory, it does make logical sense.
I'll say it in red. The culprit of the first Twilight really did kill 6 people.
Then I'll take a shot with the blue truth. Here is the true nature of this closed room. The culprit locked the door from the inside and hid in Natsui's room. Then, after everyone left, they found an opportunity to escape.
Ben, I just wanted to point out that 8 minus 6 is 2.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Sure, I'll deny that in red. The group sealed the room at the same time they left. No culprit joined the group as they left. Also, all of the seals of Natsui's room, the dining hall, and the mansion itself will not be broken.
In other words, you can't use that trick where they hide under the bed and slip out later.
Interesting. Nice going, Bern Castle.
Thanks.
This was the crime of the second Twilight. The scene was Natsui's room, a locked, closed room. This time, all of the servants with master keys have alibis. The whole group, realizing the dangers of being inside the mansion, took shelter in the guest house.
I'm really gonna need a list of these purples.
The fourth Twilight.
Here we go! Who needs a 3rd Twilight anyway? It's not like we have a witch to
It's not like
worry
it
about.
actually matters. It's fucking music. Oh, it's such a fun time killing people! All those who took refuge in the guest house decided to hole up in there until the typhoon passed. There, if everyone watched everyone else, they should be able to prevent further crimes from both from inside and outside. However, they wouldn't be able to keep it up without any breaks until the typhoon passed. Once again, their actions left a weak point open, and they were faced with yet another tragedy.
Shan and Cannon were outside on an errand and still haven't come back. George and his son got upset, and we all went outside to look for them.
We found Shannon-chan lying there in the rose garden. Oh, poor Shannon-chan. I prayed she was still alive. However, I was forced to acknowledge that she was dead. Of course, I also examined her and confirmed her death. When the 2 of them left, we were busy checking the locks around the guest house. So not one of us has an alibi. Me? Kill her? How could I have killed her?
That's right. George and Ichan couldn't kill her. Ooh.
Later on, we learned that George Nissan alone had an alibi. At the very least, George Nissan couldn't possibly have killed Shannon. To turn it around, anyone other than George Niki could have killed her.
To prevent the culprit from using it for any mischief, we destroyed the master key Shannon-san had on the spot. What about Cannon's key?
Oh boy!
At the time Shannon is killed, Cannon goes missing forever. From now on, Cannon is treated as disappearing into oblivion, as being killed. Also, Cannon's master key is treated as being destroyed.
In case I cut that, the game just closed randomly.
Yep, sure it's fine.
So yeah, there goes Cannon.
Well, I thought it'd be rude, so I kept quiet about it. But that's what happens when Shannon dies.
In other words, we could interpret this as Shannon and Cannon being killed at the same time, even though we're missing a corpse.
Missing a corpse, quotations.
Quotation marks.
That's right.
Looks like the crimes are moving along.
This was the crime of the fourth twilight, a short one. The scene was the Rose Garden. There were no locks or doors. It wasn't a closed room, so the master keys were no longer a factor. Then, the pace of the crimes began to accelerate.
Still no stakes.
I mean, the usual culprit just died, so...
I know. It's excellent.
Anyway, the fifth and sixth twilight. Everyone took shelter in the guest house. They carefully sealed all doors and windows, locking themselves in a closed room.
The thing is by the red truths now, we have to have a pair of culprits. So it's either got to be Ava and Hideyoshi, or Kirei and Rudolph.
You reckon?
I reckon. Of course, we then of course have to work in the purple truth, which people can somehow lie with.
I don't know. We don't know what it is yet.
I'm pretty confident they can lie. I don't quite think I have a guess at what the reason for why they can lie is.
I guess we'll find out, won't we? However, several closed room murders had already occurred. Could locking themselves in a closed room do anything more than invite another tragedy? After arguing fiercely in the cousin room about finding the culprit, they decided that they should double-check Nanjo, Kumasawa, and Goda's testimony. And there, they learned that a tragedy had occurred once more. In both Goda-san's and Kumasawa-san's cases, such wounds would have resulted in instant deaths. I believe. Such a gruesome way to die.
Like hell they could survive with wounds like this. Goda-san and Kumasawa-san are both dead. Well, we have been busy, keeping a lookout and locking up and all that. Once again, none of us has an alibi.
That's not true. Look, if they were killed in that way, the culprit would definitely have gotten blood splatter on themselves. But Dr. Nanjo and all of the cousins have no blood splatter on them.
All of us, in other words. The four cousins and Dr. Nanjo couldn't have killed Goda-san or Kumasawa-san. Wait, hold on. All of the parents dead? They are, right?
Yeah.
Damn, it's literally just them and Nanjo right now.
Yep.
I like this. In that case, it's clear the culprit is someone other than us.
I guess that someone might have snuck in, so I checked around, but the guest house was still completely locked up. Perhaps the culprit is a master key after all.
It's impossible. No master keys exist anymore except the two keys on the two people who lie dead here. I'm thinking.
Yeah?
I'm thinking. Since the two master keys that exist are here inside the guest house, that makes this guest house a perfect closed room.
Well, since someone's dead, it obviously wasn't perfect.
Get wrecked, Jessica.
Oh, nice one, Maria. This was the crime of the fifth and sixth twilights. The scene was the closed room known as the guest house. Goda's and Kumasawa's master keys were also destroyed, meaning that all master keys have now been lost. Now, no one can break into this closed room guest house. At least, that should have been the case.
Except there's someone on the inside.
The seventh twilight. You think so? Maybe.
This time, Dr. Nanjo was
You monster!
killed.
I was gonna do a further thing! This time, Dr. Nanjo was killed. He died at the entrance of the guest house. It was far too foolish of him to come here alone to check that everything was locked. How dare you?
Interesting. He's dead. He's been killed.
Even I can say for sure that this was an instant death. Everything is locked up perfectly. How did it happen if this is a closed room?
Means the culprit is one of us. Impossible. Judging by the circumstances, Maria Battler, George Nissan, and I all couldn't have killed Dr. Nanjo.
In the first place, no one could kill Dr. Nanjo inside the guest house.
Look at this. Simply put, this is proof that Dr. Nanjo didn't leave the guest house.
That means no one could kill Dr. Nanjo, right? So how is he killed? No one could answer that innocent question. Not a cruel one this time. This was the seventh twilight. Once again, the crime scene was the closed room known as the guest house. Various bits of evidence made this crime seem even more impossible. Then, the tragedy reached the eighth twilight, the final one. The eighth twilight. Do you remember that, this is something I never pointed out, I don't think, on recording, but do you remember that, when Angie found there were 13 corpses? But there are, in fact, only 16 corpses on the island, unless we count Kinzo's rotting corpse. Which, by the way, is the number of pieces on a chessboard. I might have already mentioned that, but it's a fun little detail there. Or on one side of the chessboard. Anyway, by now, it was clear that holding up wouldn't keep them safe. Jessica might have chosen anger as a way to numb her fear, so she flew out of the guest house in a rage, searching for the culprit that surely hid somewhere outside. George, Battler, and Maria hurriedly chased after her. Then, outside the building, they found Jessica lying on the ground.
They clearly didn't chase after her very quickly.
No, they were not quick enough. It was, as anyone could tell at a glance, a gruesome corpse. Poor Jessica Chan.
Have you gotten any tips?
I don't think so.
Let's go have a look just in case. Nope. None.
Poor Jessica Chan. She probably died instantly. There's no way anyone could live through this.
Three of us were together the whole time. George, Nikki, Maria, and I couldn't have killed Jessica.
Yeah, the three of us couldn't have killed Jessica. As if Maria Chan could kill someone. Maria Chan couldn't kill anyone. Thanks. George and Chan couldn't kill an adult. You could kill a kid though.
Don't understand it at all. What the hell is going on here?
This was the Eighth Twilight. The crime scene was outside. However, the three who chased after Jessica have alibis. George, Battler, and Maria couldn't have killed Jessica. So, is there really someone hiding on this island apart from the Ishumi family? The curtain is lowered in this tale for now.
Wow, that was fucking quick.
Yeah, that was very quick.
That's like one chapter.
I know. One chapter for like an entire
20 minutes!
episode. Yeah. That's all for my tale.
It's pretty well made. If you had a full-on reader, it'd stand up well against Baldur's Gate.
Damn right it would. If only you had a reader who could read the story for you.
If only.
If only.
I'd agree there. You did a good job.
Thank you. Well, the real work comes from taking this, reading it, and making it worthy of a proper theater going.
Still, I'm stumped. On the face of it, the culprit has to be some mysterious person outside the Ashurmia family.
And that would be the same as acknowledging the existence of a witch. We can also suspect the existences of accomplices aiding the culprit.
By the way, what was the purple text all about?
Here we go.
New rule?
I call them purple statements. It's a rule I made to make the story a bit easier to follow. Just think of the purple statements as important spoken statements. In other words, you might be able to ignore the spoken statements that aren't purple.
Uh-huh. Well, that's nice of you.
Then, are the purple statements as reliable as red truth?
Yes, you can think of the purple statements as having the same power as red truth. However, there's one exception. A culprit can tell lies with purple
that's too easy.
statements.
This is too easy. That's too fucking easy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You see, to turn it around, anyone who isn't a culprit can't tell lies.
Purple statements, and these seem to be the key to Lady Boncastle's game.
Yeah, that's right. I'll explain the rules. The definition of culprit is one who murders. It is possible for a culprit to lie. It is possible for a culprit to lie even before committing murder. Characters who are not culprits only speak the truth. Characters who are not culprits may not cooperate with the culprit. A culprit must carry out all murders directly by their own hands. A culprit must not die. A culprit must be among the characters appearing in the story. Purple statements are as absolute as red truths. However, the culprit alone may lie with purple statements. That's all.
Definition of culprit is one who murders. Makes sense?
It is possible for the culprit to lie. That seems reasonable enough too.
It's possible for a culprit to lie even before committing murder. Well, no surprises there.
Characters who are not culprits only speak the truth. How convenient.
Characters who are not culprits may not cooperate with the culprit, right?
So, the culprit can't make accomplices tell lies to match their version of events.
Damn. My guess was that someone manufactured an alibi to cover for the culprit, but...
Oh, too bad.
A culprit must carry out the murders directly, by their own hands. In other words, there are no remote or indirect methods of murder like traps.
Culprit must not die. In other words, they can't commit murder, form a closed room, and then commit suicide inside it.
Doesn't that also mean that dead people can't be culprits?
That's a simple yet vital piece of information.
Culprit must be among the characters appearing in the story, so this isn't about some mysterious stranger who snuck onto the island.
The appearing characters are the same old 17 people after Kinzo is removed. No one else appears in the story, so no one else matters.
Purple statements are as absolute as red truths. However, the culprit alone may lie with purple statements. Now here's a troublesome one.
Might be the heart of this game. Does that cover all of this game's basic rules?
Besides that, I guess there's only the reader will tell no lies. In other words, outside of spoken statements, there are no lies in the narration. I could have added that stuff if I wanted, but it'd be a pain and make things complicated.
So, you willingly abandoned a witch's privileges. You seem quite confident.
Probably had plans to win despite that.
That's all from me. I don't intend to give you any more hints or answer any more questions.
As the observer, I'll proclaim this once again. I guarantee that it's possible to pinpoint the culprit with this information.
Okay, got it.
I can't wait to get started. I can't believe the two of us are going to take on the same mystery together once more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, this is a real game between you and me. Hey Ryukishi, I recommend finding some paper and something to write with. That is, if you really intend to fight me. If you do get completely stuck, maybe you should listen on Battler and Beta's reasoning. We'll have those be hints for when you get absolutely stumped and can't move forward. Still, I'd rather fight you one-on-one. If you plan to enjoy a little duel, then try defeating me by your own power alone, without relying on hints. Okay, let's enjoy ourselves, shall we? Enjoy this game that I've created, just for you. Thanks, Ryuks!
Thanks, Ryuks boy!
I told you he'd appear in the story at some point.
I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised.
Here we go. Now, if you'd like to check the purple statements and read
sweet,
the story,
all there?
it's all there. Everything's there. And the rules, by character, by chapter, everything is there for you.
Okay, now this is, okay. There's only, okay, so...
Is this how you looked last time? I could have sworn you had to, like...
I will tell you straight out the gate. I think it has to be Valkyrie and Rudolph.
Yeah.
Or George, Ava, and Hideyoshi.
Sure. Why?
Because the red truth about the culprit killing 6 people
Yep.
means that there must have been 2 in the dining hall that were culprits.
You reckon?
Yep. And then for 2 people in the dining hall to be culprits, it means that one of the kids must have lied about their testimony. And also that kid must have killed.
Okay.
Now, my gut tells me it's Battler, Kyrie, and Rudolph, but we did have the red truth earlier that Battler is not the culprit. This applies to all games.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if this still applies here. The only thing that concerns me about that is I think that for one of the murders to have worked, George must have killed an adult, but Maria said that George couldn't kill an adult.
No.
And the other thing is I believe that Jessica said George couldn't have killed Shannon, and where was it? No. I'm pretty sure there was something that George and Jessica said that both of them needed to be on for it to actually create a problem.
Right, yeah.
So let's go have a look.
Well, we know that if they are a culprit, then they can lie, of course. So, if George or Battler can be said to have lied, then we know they're a culprit, right?
Yeah. So the question is... Guest house was completely locked up, and where was it? We went outside to look for them. And the other thing is it says no one could kill Dr. Nanjo inside the guest house. And where was it?
Which one are you looking for?
Wait, which one was Nanjo? Nanjo was 7th. I need more for the 7th.
I mean, you could go back and go to the 7th Twilight, right? You don't have to sort them by character.
Oh yeah,
By chapter. See, it even shows you who's in each Twilight, which is so useful. Different sections. There. Everyone says... Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Rhea, Battler, George Nissan, and I all couldn't have killed Dr. Nanjo. No one could have killed Dr. Nanjo inside the guest house. It's proof that Dr. Nanjo didn't leave the guest house.
I'm not saying nothing.
So the only one that lets this crime work is Battler lying that Dr. Nanjo didn't leave the guest house.
You think so?
Yep, let's go.
Well, then he was killed in the guest house? By who? By Battler.
No, he left the guest house. And then was killed.
By who?
One of the 3.
Alright.
It couldn't have been Battler though, I guess, so it probably would have been Kyrie and Rudolph outside, and then maybe Battler helped them get the corpse back inside somehow.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
I pressed the button.
Alright, fair enough.
Confirm.
Don't even need to do any reasoning. Let's go.
As I suspected. I'm assuming that's the achievement for getting it right. Let's go have a look at that. Find the culprit without any hints.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't even want to fucking reason it out. That's fine. That's fine.
There were so many obviously contradicting statements, and the moment it was like the culprit lies, it was basically George and his parents, or Battler and his parents, and there was a truth there that denied it being
I'm gonna
George.
let you know, I'm not even surprised that you got it so easily and so quickly. However, I heard a number of people telling me, like, you should definitely tell him that you can pick more than one culprit, because it's not obvious that you can pick more than one culprit when you go to the screen. And I'm like, he'll figure it out immediately. I don't need to tell him that. Like,
the culprit killed
required.
6 people one was so fucking...
I'll let you know, when I did this myself, I got it on my second try, because
Uh-huh.
I picked George and his parents the first try. I was like, that's it. I was like, oh, wait a second, I've been reading this truth wrong. I don't know what truth it was, but I fucked one of the truths up.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, now
That was very straightforward.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually kind of surprised as to how straightforward that was. I was expecting...
I mean, you were very prepared, to be fair.
Yeah.
You have done your homework. What's kind of similar to EP5 when you were like, maybe Battle will be an accomplice because that's just like Lambda. Of course, Bear would make a game.
The only thing that really trips me up about that one is I could not explain for the fucking life of me how the second Twilight was done.
Yeah.
Because...
Wait, in EP5 or in this?
No, in this one.
Okay.
Like, you know, it's probably pretty straightforward that 1 or 2 or, 3 of the people helped murder them, but getting into the room, getting out of the room, the servants said that they unlocked the room.
Yeah, so the trick to the second one is that the door is locked. Like, the thing is that the Krause and Natsui went inside and probably didn't lock it when they entered. And so all that had to happen was one of the adults had to walk in, kill them, and then lock themselves in the room.
Right.
Which means that they are still locked in that room until the end of the game.
I see.
That's probably the biggest trick of this this little murder mystery.
Because like in my head it was like that's the one that I couldn't solve.
Yep.
Just off
the
top of
trick
my
is just
head.
that they literally are inside, and when they duct tape the door, they're still inside.
Yeah.
They just don't leave.
Yeah. Basically that was the only one that I couldn't really like easily go like this is what happens.
Funnily enough, that's funny. That's the hint that nailed it for me. That it had to be 2 adults and a child, which is very interesting. But yeah. Different ways of solving mysteries. Congratulations.
There you go.
All right. I imagine this will be Anjay.
Somebody, is anyone there? Oni-chan.
Anjay flew out of the guest house, sobbing. Yeah, she only found 13 corpses, right?
Yep.
Is there anyone still alive on this island?
When she checked the cousin room earlier, it had been completely empty. However, she remembered that she hadn't seen Battler George or Maria's bodies. What she didn't know was whether this meant they were safe, whether she was about to be reunited with them as corpses.
Where are they? Where? Answer me.
She dashed around through the rain. Where was she going? Nowhere in particular. The lost little sister dashed around in circles, searching for her brother. Drenched with rain and all alone. Oh.
Eventually I thought I heard my brother's voice from behind the bush. No, it wasn't just his voice. I heard Jojo Oni-chan and Mario Oni-chan's voices too. I called out at the top of my lungs, but they didn't answer. But it's okay now. They're right there, just on the other side of the fence. I could even faintly see them through the fence. When I ran around the fence, I found myself standing in front of a shed or something. Must be a shed to store tools for the rose garden. The 3 of them were standing in front of the shed. Oni-chan! I cried out, but my voice didn't reach them. Even though I yelled so loudly, something felt very wrong about all this. When people hear a voice, even when they pretend not to have heard it, the bodies tend to show some sign they've noticed. However, there was no trace of that in the 3 of them. Even though I was screaming so loud, it truly wasn't reaching their ears. The instant I understood that, my dash towards them slowed and came to a halt. Though we appeared to be in the same world, we were actually in different worlds entirely. It was like seeing someone on TV. It was more like seeing a ghost. I could see them clearly, but as far as they were concerned, I didn't exist. After all, look. Even if I stand in front of them, their eyes can't see me. I try and touch them, will I really be able to? What if my hand just went right through? I was so scared at the thought that I could do nothing but stand there in shock, even though I was so close to them.
Damn it, I don't have a clue anymore. Someone must have snuck in from outside the island after all. They're massacring the Ishirmiya family.
No matter how we look ourselves in, someone always gets killed. Ew! It's the work of a witch after all! Everyone, calm down. Let's calm down and think. No one exists on this island except those with a direct relation to the Ishirmiya family.
Doesn't make sense. After all, we've just seen several murders that'd be impossible for any one of us.
Well, that's true, but is it really? Maybe we've just missed something. Missed something? For example, that's right, maybe someone was playing dead. Since we're the only ones on this island, the culprit must be one of us. That means someone we thought was dead is actually faking.
Aniki, that's impossible. Every one of the corpses was checked by someone. There's no way any of them were faking.
I don't want to think about it, but what if those corpse inspections were also faked? Ooh! It could have gone like this. There were multiple culprits from the start. Then one plays dead and the other's lies. He confirms that the first culprit died. Then the culprit who played dead keeps on committing crimes.
But George, I've been speaking in purple.
It's red truth, right? Creating the illusion that some stranger is stuck onto the island.
You still suspect someone in the Ashumi family of being the culprit?
Dr. Nanja was killed, so it's probably safe to say that he isn't a culprit. And we can consider the examinations performed by a doctor like him to be the most reliable. If so, then it's fair to say that the people whose death Nanja checked were almost certainly dead. Who did Nanja check? Genji's corpse, Kraus and Natsui's corpses, Shannon's corpse. So you were kind of supposed to go through this process of checking who was lying and who wasn't, but you just skipped that
Who
bit.
cares?
Shannon's
He's gonna
corpse.
tell us anyway.
Gurren Kumasawa's corpses. Think back to the beginning and the bodies in the dining hall. Of those 6 victims, Dr. Nanja only inspected Genji-san. But didn't the rest of us check the others? Yeah, but Dr. Nanja didn't actually inspect them himself.
What are you talking about? How the hell could our parents have survived after being killed like that? You know, what do you think you're saying, George Nikki? Wouldn't that mean one of our parents is the culprit? It's insane. They were killed right at the beginning, and so many of them. How can you accuse our parents of being killers after that? Don't let anyone, not even you, suspect and slander our parents after they'd been killed like that. This is exactly like Ava's defense in the first game.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sorry. I know my mama was really dead, so does that mean George and Ichan's parents or Battler's parents were the culprits? Let's stop this, Maria-chan. I must have lost a bit back there. George and Ichan wouldn't kill Shannon.
It's enough. None of us would kill members of our family, right?
So, I don't think George and Ichan would lie and say his parents were dead, not if they were really alive. There's no way George and Ichan would help out in a crime. Shannon was going to be killed. Calmly, as though answering a quiz or a riddle, Maria spoke to George. Then, with a blank look on her face, she turned to Battler and spoke. Battler, you saw your dad's and mum's corpses, right?
Yeah, I saw them. We all saw them, right? Those pitiful blood-stained something makeup.
I think you're lying.
Huh? Where the hell did that come from?
Because that way it all makes sense. Back in the dining hall, Battler's parents weren't dead. One of them killed Natsui and Kraus, locked the door from the inside and waited in that room. The other one took over the murders after that. To break open the closed room of the guest house, they needed to have an accomplice inside. That was Battler. That explains everything.
Enough!
Stop it, Battler-kun. You too, Maria-chan. Finally, all the pieces fit together in the wolves and sheep puzzle in my head. The culprits are Battler's family.
The voices in my head are agreeing, guys!
Yay! Ew! Am I right?
What are you talking about? This has to be Kyrie, right?
Correct. Hey guys, what up? It's a good thing there's an equal number of wolves and sheep now!
Yeah! Oh, you're right.
Yep.
It took me a second there.
The voice came from behind Ajay. She spun around, surprised. There, covered in blood, yet wearing cheery expressions, were Rudolph and Kyrie. Uncle Rudolph, I'm Kyrie. I'm so glad you're safe. After saying that much, George realized what his words meant, and his face twisted into an expression of shock and horror. Maria wasn't surprised, however, she showed no joy at having her answer prove correct.
See, I like the idea that Maria was looking at them, walking towards them the whole time, and
Yeah,
she's like, oh, I know what's happened! It's not even that she had to figure out.
I know what's happened, points!
Yeah.
It's them! Oh.
I don't want to take credit from Maria, but that's so funny in my head.
And as for Battler, Anjay saw it. That terrible expression, one that she would never forget as long as she lived.
Are we about to get a new Battler face? Nah.
Nah, no. You have to go to the manga for that. It was a demon smile. A hideous demon that she'd never see again twisted its face into a foul grin, and the truly horrible thing was, she saw it on her brother's face. Rudolph and Kyrie lifted up the guns they'd been holding behind them. The barrels pointed at the foreheads of George, who staggered backwards, and Maria, who grinned as though she was beyond caring what happened next. There was a flash of lightning and a crack of thunder. Nothing more could be heard. Then, as George and Maria were snapped around by that roar, the strings holding them were snipped. The two dolls fell into puddles with a splash and stopped moving.
Dad, Mom.
All this occurred right before Anjay's eyes. Anjay, who stood stunned beside them, was invisible to their eyes. They guffawed, overcome with laughter. Then, right in front of Anjay, they started joking and complimenting each other on their kills so far. The three hideous faces, the faces of her family, made Anjay want to cry and vomit at the same time. She felt as though she would suffocate. Anjay dashed away, covering her mouth. She wanted to escape the disgusting laughter coming from her beloved family as soon as possible. Then, she slipped and fell face down in a puddle of mud. She didn't try to get up. In fact, she instead chose to cover her ears to block out the disgusting laughter that she could still hear. As she did, the shadows of the fences and bushes in this inky black rose garden, several dark things slipped into sight. Hey goats.
It's the goats.
How you doing?
It's been a while.
Any thoughts on what's going on with the goats? Any theories?
Not really.
Okay, it's fine. Anjay looked around in surprise to see eerie black shapes appearing from all over the garden and slowly surrounding her. It was a crowd of people with goat heads. Their outfits were all different. Some wore suits while others were dressed casually. However, all of them were covered with darkness and all of them had goat heads. Anjay, bewildered, accidentally let her hands fall from her ears. By now, she couldn't hear that disgusting laughter. However, in their place, she could hear the words spoken by the goats. Kyria and Rudolph are the culprits.
Battler's the culprit. Battler's the culprit.
Battler culprit theory. Battler's family culprit theory. As the goats continued to mumble in eerie voices, they surrounded Anjay and began to draw nearer. They all pressed around her, each of them naming Anjay's family as the culprits. At first, everyone joined in on the Ava culprit theory. The sole survivor from Rekenjima got almost all of the wealth to herself, so such a theory was only natural. Why was Ashumi Ava the only one who escaped to Kurodorian, and why did she refuse so stubbornly to talk about what happened that day? It was decided that the Ava culprit theory fit all these facts. What are the goats, my dude? However, when Ava died of illness, and people learned that all the vast wealth she had created by unscrupulous means would go to Anjay, public opinion, or rather, the Forgers, created and spread a new culprit theory. This was the Rudolph's family culprit theory. If it was normal for everyone to come to the family conferences, why was Anjay the only one who didn't come this time? Did Rudolph's family have some reason for not bringing the young Anjay with them? They did take Battler, but he wasn't Kyria's son. Then, when it was revealed in some magazines that Kyria's family had close ties to a massive gangster organization, all eyes suddenly gathered on Kyria herself. The truth of how Rudolph had made a killing out of fraudulent business practices was also laid bare.
A killing.
And almost immediately the couple became thought of as the most suspicious people on the island. Hideyoshi and Ava's company might have been heavy-handed at times, but at least it had operated within the law. However, the more Rudolph's company was investigated, the more dirt was dug up. Furthermore, testimony was dug up about various scandals involving party tickets from the time Rudolph and Kyria were students, and it was clear that they were far more suspicious than Ava's family. And so, in a flash, the Rudolph's family culprit theory expelled the other conspiracy theories, including the Ava culprit theory, and reigned as the greatest of them all. It wasn't really because it was more plausible than the Ava culprit theory. They just had gotten bored of the old theory and wanted a new sensation. Goats are gonna get ya.
I think I mentioned it at some point in episode 4, but I have always kind of like thought of the goats as embodiments of different like methods. Like they kind of like, it's like, well, when one thing can't be explained, let's just chuck a goat in there.
They seek to explain the truths of this island, perhaps.
Yeah.
The goats seemed to bend and undulate. The sky rapidly turned white, becoming a ceiling lit by fluorescent lamps. The goats...
Oh my god! What is going on?
New images!
Why is this
there you
a thing?
go. That's beautiful.
Why did you do this, Ryukishi?
I love it.
That is terrifying.
The goats had changed completely, becoming the shapes of girls wearing goat masks. All of the girls were wearing the same clothes. It was a uniform. The uniform of St. Lucia Academy. Go back to EP4. Did you hear? The real culprits were Rudolph and Kyria. I heard! Yeah, I knew there was something suspicious about the leaf they keep behind. Didn't Ushimi ever say that she was poisoned to death? Is it obvious who was behind that? Must be nice for her. She gets her whole family's riches all to herself, right? I always knew the Rudolph family culprit theory was right. I always thought there was something wrong with Ushimi-san. Whisper, whisper. Rudolph and Kyria are culprits. Isn't Battler a culprit too? Rudolph's family culprit theory. Rudolph and Kyrie are the killers. They tried to get the family all to themselves, but Ava killed them back, and they failed. But in the end, Shumia Anja gets everything anyway, doesn't she? Rudolph and Kyrie are the culprits, of course. Rudolph's family culprit theory. Rudolph and Kyrie and Battler are the culprits. Rudolph and Kyrie and Battler are the culprits. They're saying your family are the culprits, Ushumi-san. What do you think of that? Hey, what do you think? In the end, you get all the family wealth to yourself, don't you? Even at the end, Ushumi Ava never told you anything, right? I always knew that girl was suspicious. This also explains why Ava hated you so much. Hey, say something. Tell us what you think. She really is a creepy kid, isn't she? Can't you at least tell us what you think of this theory? You creep. Blade of air.
Swept over me as I crouched down holding my head. There's only one boy that does that to scenes.
There is only one boy.
In a flash, the illusion of female students with goat heads that surrounded me shattered.
There is only one boy.
I was curled up in a puddle in the rainy rose garden surrounded by goats. But then those goats were also sliced in half and the upper half slid to the side. It was like seeing a master swordsman slicing through a stick of bamboo. This way.
No,
What?
this way.
What?
The voice came from that black cat.
I'm shocked.
We're gonna stick with the neutral voice for now. Please narrate.
The voice came from that black cat. The black cat with the bell that had guided me here. Incredible that it can talk. But that doesn't matter now. I dashed after it. The goat shrank back. A hole opened up in the encirclement. The black cat dashed through it. As I hurried through it, the goats began to chase after me. Countless heavy footsteps thundered behind us. Where are we running to, Mr. Cat? Cat ignored my stupid question. Love you, Rikishi. Where are we running to? It's obvious, as far away as we can make it. However, there was an unbelievable number of goats.
Here we go, lads.
It wasn't just the group chasing us. There were probably goats hiding throughout the rose garden, and everywhere we went, a group of them would appear and block our path. Each time we bumped into them, we ran down a different path in this maze of the rose garden. So I didn't even know which direction we were running anymore. It couldn't be. We aren't running around in circles in a massive crowd of goats, are we? When we ran into the arbor once more, I learned that my fears were justified. The four paths that led from the arbor were all blocked by a crowd of goats. Of course, the path we'd come down was also blocked by our pursuers. There was nowhere to go and nowhere to return to. We were finally trapped. Mr. Cat, what should we do? We're surrounded! The black cat stared at the goats that surrounded us, standing on guard. It's all over for us. That moment I found myself floating in the air.
I'm so ready.
A massive arm large enough to crush my entire head had grabbed my collar from behind. Before I could even think to cry out, I saw it right in front of my face. A pair of strangely glowing red eyes, and a massive mouth with jagged teeth and a foul breath. The mouth opened wide, and as though it was a separate creature, a bizarre tongue stuck itself out, and it spat words at me.
Rudolph, Kyrie, and Battler are the culprits. Rudolph and Kyrie played dead, and Battler lied when he expected them. Then, one of the parents carried out the murders up until the second twilight, and hid under the bed in Natsu's room. Battler killed Shannon, and then assisted in the murders in the guest house. The other parent carried out the guest house murders. This is the truth.
Then, that gaping, smelly mouth slowly began to close over Anjay's head.
I'm excited.
Counter! It's possible to form a logical theory other than the Rudolph's family culprit theory.
I'm glad you knew who this
Yay! She's back, bitches! Yes! Yes! Let's go! A blue flash!
I'm happy with this, but this is fucking ridiculous.
Slice off the top of the mouth.
Fucking absurd.
That was trying to eat Anjay's head, sending it flying.
Well, sorry, I just need to read the blue truth again because I was so distracted by who the fuck said it.
Oh, God.
Okay, cool.
There's another theory, my dude. Take it away.
I fell into a puddle along with the goat that was still grasping my collar, though there was nothing left of it above its chin.
Oh, fuck.
Without any
excited.
hesitation, the goats stretched out their thick arms as though they'd been given a second chance to snatch this prey for themselves, and they rushed towards me. All of them spoke in unison.
Anything besides the Rudolph's family culprit theory would be impossible.
That's
Absolutely impossible.
There are too many L's.
Look, they're rolling their words. Don't question it. Yeah! Here we go!
It's possible to form a logical explanation other than the Rudolph's family culprit theory. For example, a theory with George's family as the culprits is possible.
Get that scythe out. Let's go. A red flash. Oh.
The blue line became blades of wind that passed over my head, doubly slicing the arms of a goat that tried to pick me up. I think the next goats dashed, not towards me, but towards the black cat that was protecting me from behind. As I sat on my butt staring up towards the rainy night sky, massive goats were in the air right above me, fighting the black cat or someone.
Yes. You want to take this one?
George's family culprit theory is impossible. George can't kill Shannon.
Go creepy up.
So he can't be a culprit and he can't lie when checking the corpses.
No, it is possible. A culprit is defined as one who murders. No one ever said they had to murder a character who appears in the story. In other words...
Erica! Erica, best girl. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
This is so stupidly brilliant.
Yes.
I fucking love this.
If George committed murder outside the island sometime before this crime, he could be a culprit without killing anyone on the island, and it would be possible for him to lie.
Loving this theme, by the way. The deep red curves bit into the goat. Its massive body was knocked into the air, became about 7 logs of flesh, and was thrown into the rose bushes. This time, the terrible force of the attack shocked the goats. They faltered, shook, stepped back.
Finally I understood.
Let's do this shit.
The red slice, it had come from a weapon that could draw red
Yes.
slashes. Now it also drew blue slashes just a second ago. It was a massive scythe that could speak both types of truth, red and blue at will.
Fuck yes.
I look up at the sky and then let my head hang down backwards.
Here we go. Yay!
There was no black cat there. There was a girl holding a large scythe.
So of course, this means the black cat was Erica.
More or less. I mean, the black cat had gone to find Erica.
It's true.
So,
That's a great question.
I don't think we need to draw such specific parallels, but it also makes sense.
It's good fun.
How's that? This level of reasoning is possible for Fruto Erica.
I didn't realize quite how much I'd missed that line until this moment.
Yes.
I hate
he's
it.
Back.
I hate it so much, but I
Yes.
hate it in that kind of way that makes me want to hear it more, so I can hate it more.
You love to hate it.
It's so great.
Yes. It's going. Oh my god. I guess you're narrating.
The crowd of goats recognized the girl who called herself Erica. A stir passed through it. It was clear that this person had enough of a reputation to make them tremble.
Fuck yes.
The great detective.
The great detective.
Erica lifted me up, flew into the air, and landed on top of the arbor. Then she let go of me and, still wielding her scythe, made an elegant curtsy to the crowd of goats
Yay.
surrounding us.
Best girl. Let's go.
This is probably the first time most of you have met me. Allow me to introduce myself. Pleased to meet you, everyone. I am Fruto Erica, the detective. If you're one of those blockheads who could only think of the Rudolph's family culprit theory, stand down. If anyone thinks they can counter my argument, please feel free. Of course, I won't be holding back either.
She's so pleasant. Such a pleasant young lady. So pleasant. The goats all howled at once. It seemed to be a cry of shock, of fear, or possibly of awe. The goats surrounded the arbor, chattering but not moving any closer. None of them had the courage to stand against this detective, this witch of truth called Fruto Erica.
Good grief. All those thousands, and this is the best you can do? None of you has the courage to fight Fruto Erica in a battle of words. Too bad. Let's put an end to this. Then again, I, Fruto Erica, don't have enough spare time to counter all of you blockheads one by one. I'll let her clean up the rest. You're up!
When Erica cried out,
I was wondering when this was going to happen.
Red cracks open in the dark night
We only
sky.
had a couple people left.
Yes! All the villains are coming back!
It's just fan
All the
service.
villains!
Fan service.
Yes! Oh my god, it looked like the spiderweb-shaped fissures that appear when a glass window has been struck hard. Or was it more like a blood-red spiderweb? A laugh rang out through the spiderweb-covered world. A witch's laugh. It sounded somehow familiar to RJ, and there, standing on the spiderweb and gazing down on the goats who must have looked like trapped bugs, was the witch.
I will say, I do like that they've stuck Erica, the spider crawling on the outside of the mansion with Ava.
Yes! The two spiders of this tale.
You forget me and you call him the ruler of Rekenjima. You forget me and you think Rudolph is the culprit.
So she's gonna, like, campaign for her own candidacy. What the fuck? What the fuck? It was the witch who had hidden inside of Ava, a witch of the future who would one day call herself the Endless Witch after the cat box closed over this world.
Who forgets Ava Beatrice and calls themselves the murderer of Kenji?
Tip!
Oh shit.
Tip!
I didn't even hear that one.
I heard it!
Oh, we got
There she
Erica
is.
as well.
Oh shit, yeah!
Go.
Fruta Erica, the Witch of Truth, was successfully revived from the depths of oblivion. She is an enigma, a witch who is also a detective and a human. Once again, she will serve her master, Bern in her scheming.
There you go.
Ava Beatrice, the one who returned to life from the Legend of the Witch serial murders and inherited the name of Beatrice. She uses the Ava Culprit theory to refute all other existing theories regarding the cat box. At the same time, she can use the Ava Culprit theory to create endless tragedies with herself as the culprit. Perhaps she could also be called the lid separating the inside and the outside of the cat box. Of course, she knows what's inside the cat box.
There you go.
Oh, and we got
There you
Bern
go.
as well.
Bern
Is
Castle.
this any different? Yes, it is different.
It is different.
Bern Castle. She is the witch who controls miracles, but she's also known as the witch who knows that miracles do not occur. She's determined to destroy the illusion of the witch, and even now, when Beata's game board has fulfilled its function, the determination remains just as strong. She is known as the Miko of the Great Lady Aurora, and rumor has it that this backing has given her considerable influence in the Senate.
So all the villains are banding together for one last hurrah.
It's so fucking
It's
stupid.
so good!
So
Yes!
stupid. Let's go.
Best episode.
I'm gonna read this again. I don't
Go
care
for
if
it.
I already have.
Go for it.
Who forgets Ava Beatrice and calls themselves the murderer of Kenjima? How impertinent. On this island, who lives and who dies is totally up to me. And the wealth and gold is mine. Everything about the October 4th and 5th of 1986 is mine to do with as I please. It all belongs to me, Ava Beatrice.
Ava swung her one-winged staff at the crowd of foolish goats beneath her, proclaiming their deaths. Get wrecked! The ceiling of spiderwebs that covered the heavens plummeted, and more spiderwebs seeped out of the ground at the goats' feet. Then, the webs from above and below met, and thousands upon thousands of goats were caught in their grasp. Then, as Ava swung her staff, it swirled, around and around like egg yolk being mixed in a bowl. Eventually, it was all packed into a massive blood-red goo. The moans of goats drifted out from the inside. That entire crowd had been compressed into a meatball a few meters across.
So, your minds doubt that I'm the culprit.
Literally, like, campaigning to be the culprit.
It's so great.
It's
I'm
wonderful.
completely fine with this.
Reaching the Ava Culprit theory and giving up there is good enough for the likes of you.
If only you just get crushed and disappear.
Oh, I hope she says the tagline. Oh, give up and die. Oh,
It's alright, I'll
that's
say
right.
it for you.
Next
even
time.
if-
Next time.
Even if she doesn't.
I'm sure she'll say it later. Oh, look at that. Squelch. No other word could do that justice. That sound justice. After sucking in all of those goats, the spiderweb ball vanished into thin air with a squelch. After that, there wasn't even a trace left. The dark rose garden lay there without any sound but that of the falling rain. Ava drifted down from the sky.
Your aunt will always be on your side, Angie-chan. I'll never let anyone insult your family.
Oh, so sweet.
Aunt Ava. I knew I should be grateful.
Oh boy.
Yet it really wasn't easy for me to believe that Aunt Ava was my ally. Ava realized that too.
Don't worry, I'm not doing this because I want to be thanked. But I'll always be on your side. See you later.
She giggled, spun around, and vanished. What the hell, Ava? Get out of here!
Now that she had already left, I started to regret not even saying a thank you.
Oh.
So I figured I should at least thank the other person who had saved me. Thanks for saving me. Who are you? I already knew her name. What I was really asking was why she'd saved me.
I'm Fruta Erica, as I said about 5 times, the detective. And I'm also a witch.
A witch.
A witch of truth. One who searches for the single truth. And so are you, right?
Oh boy.
Those 2 days, October 4th and 5th, 1986. I've been so desperate to know what happened that I took a step off the roof of that skyscraper, drifted through several witch games and fragment worlds, and abandoned myself to this long journey with no rewards. All I want is to know what happened that day. All I want is the single truth of that day.
Searching for something like that is what makes you a witch of truth, so you're just the same as me. That's why I came to save you.
I want to know just what happened on that day. No one will tell me, no one knows. But I know something happened that day. I'd give up anything to learn what that was. That's the one thing I need to know no matter what, even if it kills me. So tell me. You know, don't you? You know what happened on that island, right?
Does a witch of truth expect to be given the truth? If I told you that so-and-so was the truth, would you really just accept whatever I said?
No, I wouldn't.
What did Bat-the-San show you today?
Today, Oni-chan showed me a bizarre Halloween party. Maybe not heartwarming, a lot of fun, but it definitely wasn't the truth.
Didn't Bat-the-San show you something and say it was the truth?
It's not. That couldn't be the truth.
Sometimes, other people will try to mislead us by claiming that they know the truth, but a real witch of truth must continue to pursue the single truth without being led astray. That's why you can't accept the fake truth that Bat-the-San's trying to force on you. You care about finding the one real truth more than anything.
Yeah. Oni-chan is trying to confuse me.
Oh, don't trust him.
Damn.
She's gonna not trust him.
I felt that this whole time. Even though he knows everything about what happened that day, he won't tell me anything at all. How is he any different from Aunt Ava, who mocked me and refused to tell me anything even until the very moment of her death? Why won't Oni-chan tell me? Why? Why won't he tell me? The dam inside my heart burst. Why won't Oni-chan tell me what really happened? Why? Why? I'm the only one who doesn't know. No one's telling me the truth. Tell me. Tell me what happened that day, Oni-chan. Oni-chan! I cried out at the rainy night sky. Hot tears poured from my eyes, but they were covered by the cold rain that beat against me, so no one other than me would know that they were tears. No one would know my pain and sadness. I'm always the only one alone. All alone. Someone tell me. Tell me what happened that day.
No one can tell you. After all, you can only find the truth if you look for yourself.
Where's the truth? How can I find it? Everyone's hiding it. They won't tell me. I find it myself. So please just tell me where the truth is hidden.
Very well. I can tell you.
Oh,
Whoa.
it might have been Bern, actually. That's fine.
Who cares?
As the voice rang out, the world bent and swirled. After blinking several times,
I realized the world had become a sea of stars. No, that's not quite right. There are stars up there in the sky, but those lights down below me aren't stars. The lights from building windows, street lights, car lights, was floating in the dark sky over a city lined with skyscrapers.
I can't tell you what the truth is. However, if it's a question of how the truth can be reached, I can show you the way.
You.
oh hey, it's regular Angie again. How's she doing?
Various bad memories are jumping out at me from the back of my mind. Jumping, fitting. That's alright. I was chained in place in that strange theater and forced to watch a repulsive fragment where Mom and Dad committed murder.
I never said that that was the truth.
But I heard what you said with the red. I'll say it just for you. That this is all the truth.
You yelled out and interrupted, stopping me from saying any more. I was about to say that this is all truth. This all...
Wait, hold on. That seems different to... Anyway,
That this is all truth isn't necessarily so.
I think they might have changed that line.
That is a very clunky translation too.
Yeah, I mean, that looks different to what
What did
I
you
remember.
think it said?
Because she says in EP7, she says, "This is the truth," and then she stops.
Yeah.
In the original translation, I seem to recall her saying, "This is the truth, one of many."
Uh-huh.
I seem to recall that being what she said, but maybe we're not at that line yet. That's very strange.
Just how far are you willing to go to mock me?
I apologize, but I did want to test you.
Test me how?
I wanted to see if you were ready to accept the truth, no matter what it might be. The truth can betray you sometimes. In fact, there are times when it shows itself as the thing you desire least. That fragment I showed you was probably the worst one you could possibly imagine. However, if you lack the strength and the courage to withstand even something like that, then you aren't fit to reach the truth.
I have no comeback. Finding the truth is my goal. I just want to know what happened on the island on that day. I don't like to think. But I only want to hear what I want to hear. I'm really prepared to face the bloody, unbearable truth that probably awaits me. If I find the truth, it'll mean having to look straight at my family's tragic final moments and accepting them as they are.
Yeah, the idea that you have to be prepared to face the worst possible outcome in order to try and figure something out.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. I'm just thinking.
And if I do accept that, it means abandoning my faint hope for a convenient miracle. The idea that one of them might have survived somehow and might return even though 12 years have passed. I know a miracle like that would be completely ridiculous, but If I'm honest with myself, I have to admit that I've been comforted by that faint hope those past 12 years. I want to know the truth, but I want one of them to come back. Those two wishes contradict each other. By learning the truth, I'll be forced to accept that no one's coming home.
The truth is always cruel. At times, it can even cut down your hopes. Most of the time, humans don't realize the cost of learning the truth. I simply wanted to see if you had the necessary resolve.
I must choose between two of my contradicting wishes. Will I find the truth and abandon my optimistic hopes for my family's return? Will I give up on the truth and keep waiting for the family that'll never return for all eternity? Will I freeze up and let myself be fooled by the childish illusion my brother made for me?
Tell me, Anjay, are you truly determined to learn the truth?
I am.
And your resolve will not falter?
It won't. After hearing my immediate reply, Berncastle stared at me.
She does that a lot.
Are those expressionless eyes of hers measuring my resolve? Now that my brother is covering up the truth even after becoming Game Master, the only thing I can rely on in my search for the truth is the path that Berncastle can show me.
Deep in your eyes, I see the glint of one who seeks the truth.
Will you tell me? Will you show me the way that leads to the truth?
Yes, I'll guide you. Did you forget, Anjay? I am your guardian, right?
How long has it been since I last heard Berncastle use that word? Yeah. Haven't heard it since the very beginning when I met her in this future world and became a witch with her as my guardian. It's when I became the Beatrice of 1988, the one who could defeat the Beatrice of 1986.
You are the Beatrice of 1998, Anjay Beatrice. I became your guardian and recognized you as a witch. However, you aren't an endless witch like Beato.
A witch of truth.
That's right. You are like Erica, a witch of truth, who will seek the single truth, undeceived by any illusions.
I guess the witch of truth, Angie Beatrice, has the power to reach the single truth.
Yes. However, up until now, you have been unable to use this power. Do you know why?
I do now. Even though I searched for the truth, I unconsciously resisted learning the truth.
Exactly. Finding the truth was your goal, but at the same time, you were unconsciously afraid that learning the truth would mean losing that miracle of your family coming back. So you didn't have what it took to stretch your hand out to the single truth.
You're completely right. I have to admit that I was naive. I must admit it. My entire family is dead. Now that I've acknowledged it, I must expose why they died and who was behind it. Thanks. The fragment you showed me in that dark theater was there to open my eyes.
Many games have gone by, waiting for you to become a true witch of truth. But I think there was a purpose to it all. After all, now, in this final game, you really have become a witch of truth.
Tell me, what happened on that island that day? I won't ask you to tell me directly, so guide me. What can I do to reach the truth?
It's a bit too chilly here. Let's move.
To where?
To a place better for drinking tea. What could she be talking about?
I don't know, Bert. What should you possibly be talking about?
Please don't mock my voice! A massive applause filled the hall. It was an applause in honor of a good fight. An applause in honor of Berncastle. Yes, Lady Berncastle's game was another splendid one.
We're gonna reveal our game board to everyone here, so have a go at it. It's pretty awesome.
Yay!
But you solved it in the end all the same.
A game that no one can solve isn't a game. The main point is whether it was fun or not.
It's fun. I guarantee it's quality.
Same here. First I thought there was no way anyone could solve it, but the way you can use one confirmed purple statement after another to narrow the suspects made for a great puzzle.
Yes, that's what happened.
That's exactly how we did it. Come everyone, gather.
Just what sort of game is a Berncastle's mystery? That's for you to find out for yourselves! Hey guys, go read Umineko.
Go read it.
Objects resembling chessboards were set out on several tables. They were fun. Crowds gathered around each, looking down with interest.
Aha, it's like a logic puzzle.
Quite an orthodox one, don't you think? So, this is what a witch's game is like.
No, that really isn't. Witches' games were very different. Looking at it like this, it's just a game, but for the pieces, it's a massive series of crimes.
Indeed it is.
It would not do to waste such a rare gift from Lady Bern Castle. Let us take this opportunity to enjoy ourselves.
Yay. Still, this is a tough one. It almost makes you wonder if it's made to be solvable, doesn't it?
If you don't start by believing that it's made to be solvable, you won't get anywhere. Battle of Wits doesn't begin until you trust the questioner and believe that it can be solved.
Yay.
We guarantee that it is. Come on, have a go at it.
With Battler's encouragement, discussions over Ben Castle's mystery game began at each table. The mix of humans and illusions in heated debate was truly a sight to behold. Beardo and Ben Castle sat in a chair far off from the discussions. Would you like some tea? Any kind of calming black tea for me. With milk, if you don't mind. As you wish. Is there anything you need, Lady Bern Castle? The blood of my enemies. What? What?
Please add some dried plums to some black tea. That's the trick to making terrible tea drinkable.
Come now, don't sulk. We're honestly complimenting your game for being such a fun one. Beata, who had emerged victorious in the game Bern Castle had put all her heart into, was in extremely high spirits.
I'm not sulking. My face just looks this way. Oh.
But I managed to spot Bern's own kind of warmth in that expression. I felt like I'd climbed to the top of the pitch black top of a snowy mountain to find a beautiful star.
Well, sorry for having an eternally frosty face.
No, self-deprecating humor. How difficult it is to compliment Lady Bern Castle. No matter what you say, she always takes it in a bad way.
That's okay. She's the type who'll keep thinking about it for hours later on.
The type who lies in bed rushing it while hugging her pillow.
Yep, that's Ben for you.
Beardo and Lambda Delta giggled together. Ben Castle shrugged and looked away. I like having the three of them together. The three, like, higher tier witches. Oh.
Seriously though, that really was a fun game with a twist.
You think so? Thank you.
Could have made it unsolvable, but you still made it to be solved.
That was the twist.
You couldn't have done that unless you planned on playing fair and enjoying the game.
I like games where I win no matter what. Games that I might lose are just a pain.
Later, I'd like to switch sides and try another one. I'll make a puzzle and we'll see if you can solve it. Game for you to win against me. Of course, I'll use all the know-how I've picked up in my fights with Beardo to make it super hard. Not giving up on my winning streak that easily.
Both you and Beardo have such an interesting way of thinking.
How's that?
A game is just a means to decide who wins and who loses, right? When you create one, your own victory should be your highest priority. So, why would you go to all the trouble of making a game you might lose?
She says about the game she just lost?
Yeah.
What fun is there in a game you always win? That's not even a game. Victory and defeat. It's fun because you're taking part in a fair competition balanced between those two outcomes. Game isn't a fight, it's a communication. You have to enjoy the means, and if you manage to win in the end, well, that's just an added bonus.
Finally, I clearly understand the difference between how all of you think and how I think.
What do you mean?
For you, this is communication. It isn't for me.
The world you live in must be pretty savage.
And what about you? Wasn't it the same for you until you understood Beardo's game? An eternal game is eternal torture. Have you already completely forgotten about that pain you suffered?
There were days I did think that, but now it's all been resolved. I wouldn't complain about stuff that's in the past. I'm impartial, you might say.
That is the critical difference between you and me, I think. Your eternal torture was something you could laugh off and forget. Mine wasn't nearly so trivial. That's all there is to it.
I don't know your history. Sounds like you had it rough.
To think I'm getting sympathy from a mere former piece, I must be getting old.
The castle, sipping the black tea that Genji had brought her, gazed up at the ceiling with a faraway look. Battler may not have known her history, but even he was able to understand a bit of how she felt.
You being tortured by someone right now?
Are you kidding? I am as free as can be. I'm not bound by anyone's shackles.
That's a good thing, isn't it? At least things are better for you now.
True. It's much better now than it once was, though I am on a long, endless journey to escape from boredom.
Then at the very least, us meeting here should have been a good thing for you.
Indeed. Even the taste of defeat can keep my boredom at bay somewhat. No. Battler shook his head and laughed.
Friends who've enjoyed fighting in a fair game.
So,
If your days are filled with nothing but running away from boredom, feel free to drop by our place every now and then. We'd love to welcome a friend. We'll be able to set up everything needed to help a friend escape from boredom.
you think you can prepare a welcome interesting enough to help me, the great Bern Castle, escape boredom for even a single night?
I do. That's what it means to be a friend.
Aw, sweetums.
We won tonight's game, so the next time you come, we'll switch sides. This time, we'll entertain you with one of our games. Of course, we don't intend to let you win easily. We'll challenge you to a devilishly twisted logic game. Won't be something you can solve in a night. It'll be good enough to make you stay for months racking your brains over it.
You would entertain me, the great Bern Castle, as a friend?
Yeah, we would.
After talking with you, even this dried plum tea is starting to taste sickly sweet. What a pain.
I heard from Beto. Sounds like this dried plum tea stuff is one of your favorites. Next time we'll throw in some high-class dried plums covered in gold leaf. Make sure you can come again.
If you really plan to do that, try finding some better tea to start with. I'll never feel like coming again if you keep serving tea like this.
Ah, come on. Guess the tea you're used to drinking is pretty damn high class. Next time, why don't you invite us somewhere we can drink some of that?
Me? Invite you over?
It's only fair, right? We've treated you. Now it's your turn.
Yes, it would only be fair.
So let's have the game be fair too. Let's switch sides and start a new game. Looking forward to it. We won this time, but who knows about the next?
That's some confidence you have there, and yet I'm afraid you're mistaken on one point.
What's that?
My game isn't over yet. I wonder who will win in the end.
After taking one more sip of her black tea, Bern Castle set her cup on the table, wearing a thin smile.
The tea here is far too sweet. It was a mistake to have any. Thank you, Genji. Take this away, please.
As you wish. Bern Castle asked for her tea to be taken away after taking only 2 sips. Battler smiled, realizing this was just Bern's way of being shy. What a cute little muffin. I'll pull on her cheeks.
Battler, why are you smiling with such a foolish, optimistic face? If you really think this final game will be nothing but a happy epilogue, then I'll have to invite you all to a proper game for bringing this tale to a close. Battler. You forget too easily. Don't you remember in whose hands lie the key to this final game?
Steve from accounting.
Yeah, new character, Steve from accounting. He's a new piece of furniture, and he uses a stapler, an auto stapler. I don't know what an auto stapler is.
I don't
but it
know
sounds
who
like
this
fun.
is. I'm assuming Angie.
I think Angie. The inside of someone's nose itched.
I've never regained consciousness to a smell before.
I think it's Anjay. Yep, yeah, it is.
Slowly, I opened my eyes. Wait, when did I lose consciousness in the first place? I don't remember going to sleep or falling unconscious.
So I'll head to Bern's place for some tea.
That's right, Bern Castle invited me to come to a place better for drinking tea. That's when my memory gets hazy. And since the smell of black tea is what woke me up. Where am I?
Our Aurora's study. I hate to admit it, but her taste in tea really is excellent.
I was sitting on what appeared to be a sofa in a dimly lit study. Bern Castle sat across from me, and right before my eyes was a beautiful cup filled with hot steaming tea. Isn't this place... I remembered. I've been here before. Wasn't it?
How pleasant it is to see you again, child of man.
Yeah, that voice.
That annoying voice.
That soothing, feminine voice.
Oh, God.
Just hearing it brings back memories. Long time no see, my master.
Yay.
Yay!
Everyone's here. I didn't think I would get the chance to welcome you into my study again. To think that this game of yours is still continuing. Child of man.
It won't be continuing much longer. This is the end, the true final game.
Haven't they said that about 5 times?
Probably. I can't wait for episode 9.
Also, tip.
Oh, was there a tip?
Yep.
I didn't hear it.
Augustus Aurora is here now.
Yay, we don't have the change button this
Is
time.
it the same? No, it's different, I think. Wait, no. No, it's the same. That's a bit sad.
There's no change button this time.
No. It's alright.
This was the study of Feather and Augustus Aurora, the majestic witch of theater-going, drama, and spectating. Once in the past, I was summoned by her and ordered to be her reader, her Miko. Don't tell me you want to read again.
I wasn't the one who called you here. My Miko brought the two of us together.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? To show you the path that leads to the truth.
You show me the way, Featherin.
Well, I am the witch of theater going, though I dislike interfering with the actors on the stage.
So, would you rather watch Battler's boring play, or my exciting one that manipulates the branching paths of fate? I know you can't stand even a minute of boredom.
As Featherin rocked her rocking chair, she looked up at the ceiling and chuckled. She clearly holds some key to the truth I seek.
And yet, you are literally the one holding the key. I can do nothing but tell you where to find the keyhole, child of man.
I don't remember saying anything out loud, but Featherin answered my question as though I had. Come to think of it, that's right. Featherin can read the thoughts of a mere child of man like me as easy as she can hear me speak. Well, I guess that'll help us get to the point quicker. Oni-chan did give me this key, but then he just said something about how I'd know to use it when the time was right. Didn't say a word about what it was used for. Do you two know? What is this key for? Oni-chan said it was something very precious.
Explain, my Miko.
No way. You explain.
You demand that your master explain.
You've got to go on stage every now and then. Otherwise you'll just get senile all the faster.
My. And yet, I just enjoyed some long overdue time on the stage when Archie was reader, which would last me several centuries at least.
Tell me, what is this key?
What is time to a witch? A physical manifestation of this decision you are to make. This tale, this game, will end when you are asked to make a certain decision. What you hold there is the act of your decision embodied in the form of a key. God of man.
The physical manifestation of my decision.
Exactly. Battler was probably planning to end it by putting you in front of 2 doors, both of which can be opened by the key. Then, he would ask you to choose which door to open. He must have told you that much, right?
He didn't really tell me anything at all. He just kept saying things like you'll know when the time comes. No one will tell me anything. Not Oni-chan, not anyone.
What a pretentious plot device.
Pretentious, indeed.
Battler probably wants to respect your right to make a decision of your own free will.
But Anjay, you should have at least started to figure it out by now, right?
Figure out what?
There's an answer Battler wants you to choose, isn't there?
Those words made my heart jump in my chest. It's what I'd been thinking. Oni-chan is clearly trying to trick me with a vague tale, almost like a daydream. It'll take me even further away from the truth. At the 1986 family conference, everyone had a wonderful time as they faded away. Everyone is smiling down on you from heaven. So you don't need to feel alone even in 1998. So give it your all and live on by yourself. I've clearly sensed Oni-chan's desire to end it like that. Every time I ask him about it, he dodges the issue and says something about how the decision will be mine in the end.
That's right. It may appear as though Battler is giving you a fair choice, but he's actually scheming to get you to choose a certain one of those 2 answers, something I certainly wouldn't do.
Of course.
You've already seen the farce of a tale that he's using to do that, right?
A bizarre Halloween party, with everyone acting so strange and friendly that it was almost sickening. Already seen more than enough of that tale, so sickly sweet it makes me want to vomit. Where Shimiya Kinzo showered me with affection, where his children swore to support each other, where everyone was filled with happiness and hope. I don't want happiness and hope, I want misery and
Absolutely.
sadness.
Well, that's absolutely what's going on here, right? I'm more likely to believe that Battler and his parents killed everyone, rather than the happy Halloween party, because that's just silly, right?
Exactly.
It's so good.
He's trying to trick me with those chummy scenes so he can keep me away from the truth. He's such a coward.
True, it might be easy to call him a coward from your perspective, but remember, if you're a player in this game, and if Battler's the game master, what does that imply?
In the past, Bata was a player and Beata was a game master, and they each fought for their own respective truths. So, what's happening this time?
I don't know. What
You are
is
directly opposed to him. Yeah, totally.
I'm a player and Oni-chan's the game master.
You're in direct competition, I swear.
Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that Beata was seeking to fight Battler all along.
Yes, it was to persuade him of her truth and crush his, and yeah, no, totally. She was his enemy, right?
Of course.
His bitter enemy to the very end. She has no feelings. She was the villain of this story.
Could it be that I've misunderstood everything from the very beginning? Oni-chan said he'd tell me what happened on that day, so I assumed that following him meant I'd learn everything. It's not the same as, say, Oni-chan accepting everything Beto said about the crimes being the work of a witch.
Not quite. You missed the point. Angie, the premise changed. It changed, but it was always the same. She needs to reread episodes 1 to 4, I think.
And 5, and 6, and 7. And probably 8 too.
Poor sweet baby Angie.
I really love if someone got to this point and was like, hell yeah, Angie!
Nice work, Angie. Get the truth. Yeah. No, Angie's not doing well. She's being persuaded, tempted by the devil.
Truth be told, though, that's kind of been Angie's role this whole time.
It has, absolutely. Which is fun, because even before you're like, oh, she's trying to seek the truth, good on her. And by this point you're like, oh no, she's trying to seek the truth.
No, editing AP4 at the moment is agonizing.
I know,
it's agonizing.
But she's still doing the same thing. It's just completely reframed, which is what Ryukishi does. Love you, Ryuks. Best boy. Anyway.
Have we read this? I'm gonna read it again.
Probably.
Isn't that the same as Oni-chan accepting everything Beto said about the crimes being the work of a witch?
We need the reminder.
What a stupid mistake I've been making.
Yeah, what a stupid mistake, guys.
Angie, no.
So this game has always been a fight between me and Oni-chan.
I'm surprised you joined in without realizing that.
Thanks, Featherin, you're the best.
Yeah, so maybe Featherin isn't as impartial as we've been led to believe, right?
You thought Featherin was impartial?
Oh, I don't know. That might be a thing you could infer.
As far as I'm concerned, she's the one that wrote in Erica, who was such a twat.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Yeah, in your theory.
Absolutely.
Bata really is sly. Unlike me, he quickly started up the final game without letting you realize that simple fact. Well, it was the same back in Beto's games. Bata was drawn into her game before he knew what was happening, before he even knew how to fight. That's why I taught him how. And now it's exactly the same. You were forced to start this game before you understood anything about it, and I've come to tell you the truth.
Such a helpful lady.
To tell you who you're fighting against and for what.
I was too shocked to speak.
And now you accept her truth without any questions, right? Persuasion is a thing.
And I finally realized what I needed to accomplish in this game.
Oh, it's this track!
I've always been passive. Well, sure, Oni-chan would tell me everything, so I naively thought I just had to believe whatever he said.
This is the Rudolph and Kiri Kill Everyone theme. Wonderful.
Is it?
It is. I believe so.
Oh.
From EP7.
My headphones have cut.
Have they?
Like.
Oh no!
Oh well.
No, your headphones. Get them on. We're gonna have the music.
Alright, we'll take a short break.
Short break. Get the music. We'll be back. We're back. Everything's fixed.
Everything's fixed. I was wrong. That's not what this is. This is a battle between me, the one who wants to reach the truth, and Oni-chan, who wants to trick me and chase me out into a 1998 where I'm all alone.
Yeah, that's his goal.
All this time I've kept on saying that Oni-chan was foolish and naive, and now I see that I was more naive than anyone else.
Was.
And yet Bern didn't sneer at me. On the contrary, she looked at me with that cold gaze, as if to say, so you've finally taken your first step.
Now do you understand your own purpose and the purpose of that key?
I gripped the key Oni-chan had hung around my neck, and for a while I shook with an emotion I couldn't understand. Now that I know Oni-chan tricked me, it would be easy to hate him, but hating him would be missing the point.
It would.
It would be missing the point.
It would. Yeah.
Well done, Angie. You've made one step towards victory.
Poor sweet baby Angie.
After all, this is a game between me and him. Oni-chan has done nothing but make the optimal moves for winning against me.
No.
If games aren't a playful way to communicate, they're the process that decides who wins and who loses. And there can be no fair games. The best strategy is always to trick your enemy into defeat without telling them the rules before they even know what's going on.
Shout out to EP2.
In that sense, Oni-chan hasn't done anything wrong. He's using that sickly sweet illusion to trick me, and Forced me out into a lonely future.
I do like how a lot of characters are starting to use each other's words as they're like adopting.
Yes,
Each of
absolutely. Like Bern was like, it's sickly sweet,
Yeah.
and now I'm just like, it's sickly sweet. It's great. Adopting their moralities and their ways of thinking. It's so good.
And forced me out into a lonely future. They'll be the only ones having a good time in the cat box, and I'll be the only one chased out. Thank you. I'm grateful. I think I've finally been able to truly open my eyes.
Please don't hate Battler. After all, one-sidedly tricking your opponent is what game masters do.
She says as a game master.
I know, right?
Yes! Ah, she's the worst.
I know, Oni-chan took the best option for his perspective. That's all there is to it. Thank goodness you, Berncastle, this impartial cat, are leading me towards the victory that I know to be right.
Such a helpful cat.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's great.
So I need to make the best possible moves from my perspective.
Oh god.
My goal is now clear. October 4th and 5th, 1986. What happened on Rakenjima on those days? I need to tear off the veil covering the truth. Nothing more, nothing less.
Oh boy.
No matter what happens,
Yeah.
in my head, Kinzo is exactly as Battler portrayed him in this episode.
Okay.
I just wanted to make that abundantly
Okay,
clear.
good. Before he died, yeah.
Oni-chan gave me this key, probably because he wants me to put it in the keyhole of his choosing. That's why he keeps showing me this sentimental illusion. But I won't be fooled anymore. I'll open the door I want to open.
No. Certainly, this kind of tale is more to my liking than one where Hanjay does whatever Battler says. Me too. I would find this much more interesting if there was conflict in a story.
That's true.
Yay! Commentary on storytelling!
Then this time, I'll let you run the show from here on out. Tell Anjay. Tell her where the keyhole that leads to the truth is.
Tell me, where's that keyhole?
Very well. First off, have a seat. I'll go and get it for you.
When Featherin rose from a rocking chair, my vision seemed to twist and bend. What is this, some kind of interference? Why now, when Featherin's about to show me something
Here we
important?
go.
Why is my head getting suddenly...
Ooh, this is weird.
I dug my fingernails into my knees, clenching my teeth to keep me from losing consciousness. However, the world just kept twisting more and more. Except for the feel of the sofa beneath me, I couldn't sense anything at all.
Hold on a minute, but she still had to go get a seat. There was no sofa below her. What
okay.
is this?
Who would this be?
Take a fucking guess.
Hold on. I know, I've mental blank for a second.
Who is the only person that uses
should know.
this title in the entire goddamn story?
I'm trying to think. Is it... It's not... Canon? No. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Look, shush you. I'm trying to... What? What? Oh, of course it is.
You fucking idiot.
Oh, of course. I thought we were getting back to the game board. Okay. I always forget about this guy. God damn it.
Stop! Don't hit me!
Stop hitting me. Don't drum on my chest. I couldn't think of who it was. I was like, wait a second. Where are we
You're
cutting
gonna
to?
say the line?
I am. Lady. I'm drumming on my legs. Looks like they've arrived.
The door opened and Hichijo Toya appeared. What's going on? This isn't the world of wishes, but the world of humans. Sitting on a sofa and Amakusa was behind me. There's no need to feel confused. Featherin and Hichijo Toya are the same being. To her, the difference between two worlds is a trivial thing. To put it in the words of the theater lover, it's like having a slightly different background behind the stage. So there's no reason for me to feel hesitant. Should I call you Madame Hichijo this time?
How complicated names are. Even though both of us are still here, just like before, you have to wonder what to call me.
True. Calling you Featherin would be a bit rude to you now. For an actor, the name of the role they act is only temporary.
Precisely, child of man. Featherin?
Amakusa's eyes went wide as he wondered what I was suddenly talking about. I ignored him and continued. So what are you going to show me? As I spoke, my eyes were caught by the heavy-looking object she held under her arm. At a glance, it looked like an encyclopedia with a fancy binding.
Do you know what this is?
As Featherin spoke, she set the heavy object on the table. The first thing it reminded me of was a grimoire. The heavy book had a mysterious, mystical feel to it, like something Maria One-chan might carry around. And the most remarkable feature of it was the large, sturdy lock that held it shut. Why would someone go so far to keep people from reading a book?
Yeah, because people never lock books. That never happens.
Why don't you take it and observe the back?
In the back. I flipped the heavy book over in my lap. And as soon as I saw it, I gave a small gasp. Ava. Shurmia Ava. Without a doubt, those words were written there in Roman characters. What is this? Aunt Ava's diary?
Could this be that woman?
Do you know something about this?
Just a rumor. They say that President Ava had a secret diary, and that she always kept it locked up. They say she took it with her everywhere she went. At least, that's what I heard from some of the other bodyguards.
This is the most over-top amicus you've ever done.
That's gonna do it.
Secret diary? Why is that here?
It was in the hospital room where Shumia Ava passed away.
And I snuck in and stole it.
I totally did. This diary was hidden behind her bed, so it remained in that room for some time after her death before it was found. Then, by coincidence, it was probably found by someone who worked for the hospital or as a patient or their family. Of course, by that time, there was a huge movement dedicated to the Okenjime mystery. A locked diary found in the hospital room where Shumia Ava spent her last moments would be absolutely priceless. The discoverer probably handed it over in secret to one of the witch hunters who would be able to accurately determine its worth. Luckily, the witch hunters who got their hands on this book were all noble and upright people. Not content to brutally destroy the lock or reveal the truth, they simply satisfied themselves with the fact that the truth of that day slumbered just on the other side of this mysterious lock. Thanks to that, Ava's diary has remained undamaged to this very day. It is already known that Natsui, wife of Kraus, the older son of Kinzo, sealed up all of her complaints and repressed feelings by writing them down in her diary, which she treated like a sort of charm.
So Aunt Ava did the same thing?
It's possible, at least. Open up a diary like this would be a pain, even if you didn't have a key. It's sealed up tight like a corset.
Amakusa was right. This wasn't a diary made to be casually opened and reminisced over. It's probably safe to assume that she used this diary to forget things by writing them down and stealing them away, just like Ashirmi and Natsui did. Then she brought it with her into the hospital room and hid it behind the bed without telling anyone about it.
Yeah, when Ava locked up the cat box, remember guys? The cat box. The literal fucking locked box.
Yeah, the literal locked box.
Here we go, I'm so excited.
And tell me that diary is... You're saying Aunt Ava wrote down what happened that day.
By reading its contents, you'll probably learn everything. However, we don't know where the key that unlocks it is.
I jumped, and I looked down at my chest. That's where my brother hung that key. Huh? It's gone. It's almost like this isn't the magical world where I have the key. The key's gone.
What's wrong, lady? What key?
It's been hanging from my neck the whole time, hasn't it?
I never noticed it. You had a key hanging from your neck.
I understood almost immediately. In the world of humans, I haven't found the key. The me with the key is on the game board in the world of witches.
It's all very kerfuffled.
Make me the me with the key.
Make me the me with the key or the man with the plan.
I'm gonna unlock this diary. Feather and lifted a finger, spun it around, and the world twisted again.
Let's do it.
When I returned to Feather and study, the key popped back into existence hanging from my neck. But at the same time, the diary on my lap popped out of existence.
Yes.
Where'd the diary go?
It should exist somewhere on the game board. Since it is one of the keyholes you ought to be given, it must exist.
Did Oni-chan hide it somewhere?
Since Battler wants this to be a game between you and him,
Definitely wants that.
it probably isn't hidden completely.
What do you mean?
Even if Battler thinks that the diary is a king, he mustn't lose. There'll be no game unless it exists somewhere on this board.
In other words, it's somewhere in the Ashirmiya mansion.
Or, you may already have been given an opportunity to witness it, like how a swindler has already hidden a trap in microscopic letters on the first page, the very first page of a contract you sign. The first page.
What was the first page of this novel?
You tell me.
Was Kinzo in a room?
No. No, that wasn't the first page. That's alright, we'll get to it.
Yes, it was.
If Battler followed... Oh, you mean like the very first...
very
you mean episode
beginning.
1. No. Episode 8, my dude. If Battler follows the customs of the mystery genre as a game master, clues must be shown. So the choice that leads to Battler's defeat must have been shown.
Defeat.
Anjay, try and remember. You should have seen Ava's diary in Battler's world already.
Also, I am aware it's in the chapel.
Okay, good.
I was making jokes and
Get out of here.
You looked at me like you was scared.
I looked at you like you didn't know what you were doing, which is shocking because you always know what you're doing.
That's not true. We did do the riddles and I did suck.
It's true, you did suck at the riddles, but then you got the mystery game immediately, which is very fascinating to me.
That instant from the back of my mind drifted the very first scene of this final game.
Yeah, the very first page.
In the chapel. The book was lying on the altar.
Oh,
A book with a lock on it. As soon as I showed interest in that book, my brother suddenly grew stern and told me not to touch it. That was Aunt Ava's diary.
That's right. Assure me Ava's diary. The book of the single truth, with the truth of that day written inside of it.
The book of the single truth. Is the truth really inside it? After all, there's a chance it's just something Aunt Ava...
I'll say it in red. Assure me Ava's diary, the book of the single truth, has the truth of Rekenjima during October 4th and 5th, 1986, recorded within it.
Now, the interesting thing I want to point out...
There's the music?
No.
Oh.
Is that for the author to write this in red, if this story is being written,
Yeah.
they must have read it.
I guess so.
And also know the truth to reference that.
I guess so, yeah.
How strange.
This is End of the World playing. It's the end of the world, lads! End of the world, next chapter, let's go!
Oh!
La da da, la da 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 da, da da da.
I'm gonna buy you a metronome for your
Da
birthday.
da 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 da. So it goes. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da. Da 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 da. We'll see you next episode, everyone.